Good morning, good morning, good morning, leaders, good morning, friends, good morning, prospects, good morning, partners. Welcome to CIG Sunday Night Live. I'm Simply Seton, your uncle for tonight. Thank you for joining in with us. And this edition promises to be a great eye-opening and it will be an amazing session. It's actually the part 2 of a part we had in October, and perseverance against all odds. And it's our part 2 tonight, and with a writer restarting your success. So we'll be having Pastor Pam to take us through this journey again today. We are giving you the audience, the participants on the call tonight, to be the interviewer, as it were. So if you can come on camera to ask your questions, or with just a voice, you come with your questions, or you put in the chat. I'll read them out after our presentation. Thank you. I can see great leaders in the house. I can see Mama UK. She had followed our friend again tonight. I can see the likes of Pastor Inyang. Yes, you can see them. Yeah, we can see a lot. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining in with us. We don't take your coming in for granted. So before she comes up, I want to just read her profile. Pastor Pamela Lloyd-Kuyinu is a pastor and the co-founder of the King's Church, Randburg, Johannesburg. She's also executive director and co-founder of Omega Gospel TV Network and a Christian TV network based in the UK and South Africa, broadcasting truth on air globally through its online platform, omegagospel.org. Pamela is a qualified chartered accountant since 1991, who trained with KPMG. She has worked with global organizations such as the Coca-Cola Company and was senior manager with Deloitte South Africa, specializing in corporate governance and risk management consulting. She joined the Longreach business in 2016 after being attracted by the quality of and uniqueness of its products, as well as the very generous compensation plan. A passion for Christian entrepreneurship and empowerment, the research Longreach products, and the fantastic opportunity which she saw led her to immediately introduce the business opportunity to numerous friends and contacts in the UK as well as South Africa, a country where she had lived for over 20 years and which she considers as her second home. This resulted in a huge team of network marketing professionals in over 20 countries globally within a period of 2 years. Currently, she's one of the top leaders in Longreach with Diamond 7 in South Africa and Diamond 7 in the UK. She has successfully qualified for numerous incentives and awards within the business, including CAC awards, and as well as all expense paid trips to China, USA, Canada, Dubai, Greece, and Malaysia. She remains passionate about empowering and helping her team to also achieve success in their Longreach business. Pamela has a passion for teaching God's people the truth of his word, as well as encouraging them to know, obey, and walk with the Lord in sincerity. She has 3 adult children, and she's based in Milton Keynes and South Africa as her second home. Join me for the second time on the CIG Sunday Night Live. Join me to make a rousing welcome to Pastor Pam. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
I have tried to unmute everybody. Just say welcome to.
Welcome,
Welcome,
Pastor Pam.
We know we have all of a high expectation tonight, and we know our hope will not be dashed, because the last time we were like, no, we can't just have all in one hour. So thank you for your kind-hearted and your large heart that you have actually opened us to come on the platform second time. All right, ma'am. So we are taking a part 2, perseverance against all odds, and we have like a follow-up topic, restarting your success. So you want to take us through that on the minutes given. Then we give the audience to ask their questions, whether via the chat or you come on camera or you voice out your question. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Stetson. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here again on CIG Sunday Night Live. And I just want to use this opportunity to welcome all members of my team, anyone who's already online with us, my team leaders from Harvest Time Business Network. I just want to welcome you as well. And thanks to SD3 Emmanuel Eduru for the privilege of just coming to share with you all tonight. I also want to just acknowledge and appreciate my team leaders, my uplines, without whom, of course, I wouldn't have joined the Longbridge Bioscience International Business Opportunity. My SD4s, SD Sheung Oshofison and Happy Oshofison, I don't think they're online, but just to acknowledge them. Also to appreciate my upline SD2, Mrs. Titi Amadou, who is popularly known as Mama Pablo in the business, and my immediate sponsor who sponsored me into this business, who is online, Pastor Esther Ajala, SD2, Esther Ajala, who is my role model. Her tenacity, her perseverance brought me into this business. I think nobody else on this earth could have convinced me to join the Longbridge Bioscience International Business Opportunity. So I just wanted to acknowledge them. Tonight, we're talking about the topic perseverance against all odds, restarting your success or restart your success. It is a topic that is very close to my heart. It is something that, you know, because it's the journey I have walked myself, it is very close to my heart, persevering in life against all odds. I said in the first meeting in part 1 when we met that life is not a sprint. I have learned over the years, life is not a sprint, life is a marathon. And I have been on this earth for over half a century, over 50 years, and I know that life is not a sprint. You can start off sprinting, but I promise you, you will end up realizing that it's a marathon, and you will end up having to take a step back and re-strategize about how you are actually going to run this journey and run this race. So my encouragement to all of us, as you know, I'm a pastor, so I cannot do without referring to the word of God. The Bible says in Hebrews 12, run your own race. And that is one scripture that I live by. Run your own race. Run your race with perseverance, with endurance. Run your race. Stay in your lane. Do not compare yourself to anybody else, because some people start off sprinting, but as they take off, you meet them along the way and you realize that life is a marathon. So the first thing I want to say this evening, for us to remember as we take this topic, persevering against all odds, is that life is a marathon, and you need to understand that you are going to have to persevere and endure. There are people who will start off very quick, and there are those who will start off slow. What matters is stay in your lane, set your own goals and achieve your own goals. There's a proverb for those who are Yoruba language speaking. There's a proverb in Yoruba language that says, you cannot look at the wristwatch of another person to tell the time of your life. You have to look at your own wristwatch to tell the time of your life. So I'm particularly passionate about speaking to people who are discouraged. I'm particularly passionate about speaking to people who want to give up or who feel like quitting on life or on business, on their business. I'm particularly passionate about them because I know that there's so much more in you that you can do. There's so much more you can still do and achieve. And I would like to encourage everyone to persevere and not give up. I'm going to share a few slides as I take this topic. And also I want it to be practical. So when we say restart your success, I have a couple of slides and tips on how to actually restart your success. I want it to be practical and hands-on. So we have some important tips on how to restart your success and also an action plan on what you actually do, because there's no point just talking generally. And then I just want to share my screen. Give me a second, please. There's no point talking generally if we are not going to actually have an action plan of what exactly we should be doing. I'm just trying to share my screen quickly so we can just start. So starting with this, I just want to get all of us thinking quickly before we look at, I just want to get all of us thinking again. Most of us, have experienced the last couple of years where things have been so different. The world is changing. On my screen, you can see some of the pictures that depict the kind of change that the world has gone through. And we are saying persevering against all odds. The point of our meeting tonight is to encourage us that no matter the changes that we see taking place in our world, we need to persevere in our business, persevere in life, and not give up. Even if things happen that we were not expecting that stop us along the way, we can recover and we can restart our success. On the right of the screen, you can see a lot of airplanes parked. Those are British Airways planes, parked, aircraft parked, which was what happened in 2020, which had never been anticipated, never been seen in the history of the aviation industry. Why? Because at all times, there was always some planes in the air, only a few on ground at any point in time. But we came to a point during the pandemic where all the planes were grounded, something that hadn't been seen before. The world is changing. Secondly, you can see on the left of the screen where my cursor is, you can see a whole crowd of people wearing masks. That was something that we had never seen before 2020. Now we're used to it. At the bottom of the screen, you can see a city which is totally deserted, a Western city which is totally deserted. Again, another picture of something that we actually had not seen before. The world is changing and continues to change, and we cannot afford to be defeated as the world changes and stops our business or stops things in our lives from running the way they normally would run. We cannot afford to give up. We cannot afford to give in. We must persevere. We must endure. We must at every time take a step back, re-strategize, and start again. So again, what we are dealing with for those who are just joining us is persevering against all odds. Perseverance against all odds. Restart your success. Now, the reason I said it's a personal, it's very personal to me. This topic is very personal to me. For those who did not attend part 1, I'm going to give a 2-minute, synopsis of my own journey and why this topic is particularly personal to me and important to me, and why I like to encourage those who want to give up or those who are discouraged to understand that life is a marathon. There will be ups and downs. There will be hills and valleys. There are times you will stop and refresh and continue your race. But as long as you keep moving, you will actually be fine. In 2016, I remember my story quickly. In 2016, I remember I was, praying as a Christian. I was praying and thinking of different options of creating additional income because things had become difficult. We had done a partial move from South Africa to the UK, and for some reason the plans were not going as we had hoped. And there was a need for extra income, and I was really researching and praying about an extra stream of income. And as I was doing that, my sponsor, SD2 Esther Ajala, came, started talking to us. Said to me she wanted to talk to us about a business opportunity. Insisted. That part of it is quite a long story. I won't go too much into detail, but she insisted and persevered, and was determined to tell us about the business opportunity. And she came to see us that particular night. I tried to avoid her. I said I was out of town, but she waited for me. She actually waited for me. That's perseverance. She waited for me for a few hours close to the house. And when I arrived from out of town, she came to the house. She spent 4 hours with us, convincing us and telling us about the business opportunity. And that was how we joined. When I saw the unique products of the Long Reach Bioscience International Business Opportunity, when I saw the generous compensation plan, I became quite interested, and we decided to go on. Now, the #1 distributor in Africa, Madam Titi, was launching in South Africa, and she, was relaunching in South Africa. The business had been in South Africa, but they were doing a relaunch because things had been very quiet since the company got to South Africa. And SD5, Titi Ejimagwa, was doing a relaunch in South Africa. So I told everybody that I knew in South Africa that they have to be at this relaunch. I told as many people as I knew. One of the people that I spoke to was SD2. He's now SD2, Pastor Oke Ezebuike. I spoke to him about the business. I spoke to many people. And I think on that day, I think I must have told over 50 people. I think about 20 people attended the relaunch, and that was how we started. That was how the business took off. And there's a reason why I'm mentioning the number of people I told. There's a reason why I'm mentioning the number of people that showed up. I followed them up, and they showed up at the event, because when we get into the action plan, you will see why it's important to tell as many people as possible. So we started building, we started working, many of them were interested. Pastor Oke signed up, a few of them signed up, and we started working together. In 3 months, I was a D4, that's the sprinting part now. I was sprinting seriously, very, very ambitious, set very ambitious goals. I was pushing for the business. In 3 months, I was a D4. In 1 year already, I was a D5, that's January 2017. In a year, I was a D5. Something unique happened in South Africa. In September, I always tell the story because I never like to forget the beginning. When you don't forget the beginning, it helps you to keep going. So somebody should write that down. Don't ever forget the beginning. in September of 2016, the first year after I was a D4, a particular lady, Happy Motaung, came into the business. She was signed up because Pastor Oke spoke to somebody who spoke to somebody who spoke to somebody. And as we were building the team, this lady came into the business, and in 1 month, which was September 2017, she brought in 100 people. And out of those 100 people, we had Pastor Jerry Dube, who then brought in his own people, which included SD4 Vivian Mokomi. So I just did that tracing for you to understand how these things work and how you can build your business. And as you persevere, some miracle will just happen. As you work hard, people will call it a miracle, but it's also the hard work. And so everything was going smoothly and everything was going well. By the end of 2016, still sprinting, we were about 2,000 in the team that had signed up under the Harvest Time team, my team. By end of 2017, there were 12,000. By end of 2018, it was about 20,000 people. In 2018, I'd already gotten to D7 by 2018, November, and all that was left was one more step for me to become a star director. And then the trial happened. And this is why I say life is a marathon. You can't afford to give up, you must persevere. In 2018, I became a D7. I set out my strategy to actually become a star director and the plans and all that. But in the next year, within a few months, my late husband, my husband fell ill. And within a short while, we realized it was a terminal illness. And, by 6 months, 7 months, he had passed on. Now, this was actually very devastating for me because we did everything together. We were very, very close. We ministered together. We pastored together. We ran the TV network together. We traveled together. We ate together. We did everything together. We were very close. We were best friends. He named the team Harvest Time Team. He was my main cheerleader, my main supporter in the business. But life happens. Now, in 2018, before he fell ill, I had been to South Africa, and I'm repeating this because some people were not in our part one, and then I'll go on to the rest of the presentation as I finish my story. In 2018, I went to South Africa for one of our big meetings of about 500 people, and I stood there saying to them that this is my mantra: life happens, don't give up, keep going, don't quit. Life happens, don't give up, keep going, don't quit. And as I said that to them, I said, repeat after me. Life happens, don't give up, keep going, don't quit. And they were all repeating it after me. I didn't realize that I was actually speaking to myself. I didn't realize that it was myself I was encouraging, and that in a very short while, I would need that for myself. And so in 2019, like I said, my husband fell ill. In June 2020, he passed on. And here I was, it was very devastating. However, I have learned that life is a marathon. And so because of my personal journey, I made up my mind that I was going to persevere in the long reach business, and I was going to achieve my goal no matter what. And I'm still on that journey. Now, for those of you who are feeling discouraged, for those of you who are, wanting to restart your success, now I'm speaking to those who are wanting to restart your success, especially. Some of you, maybe you haven't had any major incident, you haven't had any major issue to discourage you. So that's fine. You can also still flow with us. But for those who have been discouraged by one thing or the other, life happens. Don't give up, keep going, don't quit. Now, for you to restart your success, we're going to look at a couple of tips, and then we're going to look at a practical action plan for you to restart your success, and then I will stop and we'll answer questions. I'm going to go through very fast because we don't have a lot of time. We took quite a lot of time with the introduction. Now, for those who want to restart your success, you need to go back to basics, and these are some of the most important things that I need to share with you. I'm running through this very quickly. Number one, you need to remember your why. Know your why. You know that already, but I'm reminding you tonight. If you want to restart your success, somebody is writing on the screen. Somebody called Technopop, you're writing on the screen. Please stop moving your hands over the screen. So if you are here and you want to rebuild your success, please remember that the first thing is to remember your why. Technopop, you are writing on my screen. Building a successful business, number one, know your why. Number two, always remember that it's about you. It's not about anybody else. It's about your dreams. It's about your goals, what you want to achieve. Take your eyes off everyone else. Oh, this person started with me and they're already a star director. I have downlines that are star director 4. I have star director 3, star director 2. They are my downlines and I'm a D7. But I am running my own race. The journey I have run is not, the journey I have walked is not the journey they have walked. I am not bothered about what anybody else is doing. I'm only focusing on my goals and my own race. So stay in your lane, run your race, and you'll be successful. If you don't get discouraged by other people, don't get discouraged by what other people are doing and what other people have achieved. It's not important at all because everybody's journey is different. When my husband passed on in 2020, I decided I was not going to give up. But at the same time, I knew that the plan I had made to become star director could no longer work because I had already taken my eyes off that, the speed and the sprinting with which I was building my business. I was no longer able to do that because I was looking after him. I was his primary carer. I took my eyes off and I could only crawl. I couldn't even run anymore, talk less of sprinting. I couldn't even walk anymore. I could only crawl in my business, but I made sure I did not stop. I kept going, but I could only crawl. And by the time I look back, I had lost the most important leg, the third leg that I needed to actually achieve my goal as star director. But I've not allowed that to deter me. So these are some of the most important things you need to remember if you want to restart your success. Number one is know your why. Number two is about you. It's not about anybody else. Run your own race. Number three is belief. Belief is very, very fundamental and important to your success. You need to believe in yourself, believe in the company, believe in its products. Of course, I'm a Christian. I'm going to add believe in God, that He will help you. Now, why is belief important? Because if you don't have belief in what you're doing, nobody can believe in what you're doing. If you don't believe in what you're doing, nobody else is going to believe. You're going to pick up your phone and trying to involve others, and they're not, that you try to involve others, they are not going to respond. Now, this applies to whatever you're doing in life, not just about building your long-read business, whatever you're doing in life. If you don't believe in it yourself, nobody will believe in it. Your passion is also very important. I always say to my team leaders, people buy your passion before they even buy your products. It's the passion with which you are doing the business, the passion with which you're doing what you're doing, that people will understand and will observe and will buy into. So people buy your passion before they even buy your products. Then focus is very important. That was what happened to me in 2019 when my husband became ill. I could no longer focus fully as I used to. After 3 years of focus and sprinting, January 2016 to November 2018, going from D1, from being brand new to going to D7, suddenly my focus was affected. So if you are going to restart your success, if you are going to rebuild your business, your focus is very important. You need to focus and not be moved by who is leaving and who is not leaving, who is coming and who is not going, who is coming and going. That is not important at all. Everybody has their own journey. Stay on your lane and follow your own race. Don't follow anyone anywhere because you don't know where their destination is. You don't know where they are headed, but you know where you are headed. So focus on where you are headed. Consistency is also very important. You work daily, and I'm running through. I would have had a lot to say on that, but I won't say too much. Just ensure you are working daily. Some people say to us, the leaders, they ask us, oh, tell us your secrets. Those are the secrets I'm sharing with you now. You have to be consistent and show up daily. Even when I'm not able to do too much, I make sure I'm showing up, even if it's to actually post on my groups, encourage somebody, communicate with a leader, but show up daily, work daily. A shop that you open every other day or 3 times a week will never be successful. You have to open your shop daily. This is a business, it's not a hobby. So show up daily, be consistent. Knowledge as well is very important. Gather the knowledge that you need for your business to succeed. You need to understand the uniqueness of your long-read business. You need to understand the uniqueness of your business. Whatever you are doing, you need knowledge. So take the time to acquire knowledge. I'm always very surprised when people who've been in the business for maybe 6 months or quite a bit of time ask questions, or you ask them questions and it's obvious that they haven't taken the time to actually understand that aspect. Maybe you mentioned something, a particular bonus, or that we earn, or a particular a process or a particular product, and they don't know anything about it. And I'm saying to myself, you cannot succeed if you don't know, if you don't take the time to gather the knowledge. How are you going to succeed? So if you are restarting your success tonight, I want you to take the time, attend presentations, attend training, start from there. Get your motivation back, get your knowledge back, remind yourself what the business is about, get the critical knowledge that you need so that when people ask you questions, you don't say, please, can I just ask my team leader? You are able to respond. Then set goals. If you are rebuilding or if you are restarting your business, set specific goals. It will motivate you. Like I said, I set goals. I was setting my goal to become a star director. I had a plan in place. Life happens, I couldn't follow the plan, but set goals, because your goals will motivate you. Now, an action plan, and then we'll take questions and answers because I want it to be very practical. An action plan is what you need. You need to come up with an action plan. So starting today, get an action plan in place. Firstly, put down your long-term vision. Where is it that I'm going? What is it that I want to achieve? I want to restart my success. This is very important because if you don't know where you're going, you cannot get there. So please, this is an action plan. So these are doing points. These are things you have to actually do. This is not advice. This is not something to think about. The first slide I just went through with belief and consistency, focus, those are tips and important tips for you to take note of and to think about and reflect upon. These ones are an action plan. These are now things that you have to actually do hands-on. Sit down, write down your long-term vision. What is it that I want to achieve? Where is it that I want to go? Then you start, for those of us, I'm talking about the Long Reach Bioscience International, and I'm assuming everybody who is online is in the Long Reach or has been invited by somebody in the Long Reach Bioscience International business. Write your list of the people that you want to talk to. Now, I'm going to say that again. Make your list again. I'm going to say it a third time. Make your list again. You want to restart your success? Don't keep it in your head. If you want to restart your success, make your list again. I have had to redo my list as if I was starting as a pre-diamond, like I started in 2016 with a list. I have had to do that as well. Write your list again and write down the names of the people that you're going to start talking to. Do not prejudge anyone. You know some of these things, but I'm reminding you tonight, do not. If I said, I know Pastor Pam will never do this business. If she had said that, we would have been in trouble. Can you still hear me? Can somebody please respond? My computer is telling me that my internet is unstable.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you, ma'am.
You can hear me clearly. Okay. It's not breaking or anything because it's telling me my internet is unstable. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. Now, I said, do not prejudge anyone. If my upline, my team leader, SD2 Esther Ajala had prejudged me, I won't be in this business. We have under Harvest Time team, which is my team. As the process was unfolding, I said to you by the end of 2017 or 2018, by the end of 2018, we had 20,000 people. But as I sit and talk to you, there are over 500,000 people who have registered for the Long Reach Bioscience International business under our network. Over 500,000 people who may never have actually come into the business if I had been prejudged by my team leader, SD2 Ajala, who sponsored me. If her own team leader, SD2 Mama Pablo, SD2 Mrs. Titilayomi Amadu, had prejudged her, she wouldn't have come into the business, neither would I. So do not prejudge anyone. These are action points if you want to restart your success, if you want to redo your business, rebuild your business. Do not prejudge anyone. Talk to everyone possible. Talk to everyone possible, and let the results show for themselves. If anybody says no, do not take it as a personal rejection. It is not personal. It's just somebody saying, no, I'm not ready for the opportunity you have for me right now, and you move on to the next person. These are things we know already, but I'm reminding you, and I'm wanting you to write it down as your action plan. It actually works. People say, oh, leaders, how do you make D7? How do you make Star Leader? What are your secrets? These are the secrets. There is no secret. Talk to everyone possible. Create momentum in your business. I'm almost done with this slide. Create momentum in your business. Make sure that you're working with speed and accuracy. What we mean by momentum is that the person who speaks to one person once in a month will get very different results from the person who speaks to 5 people, in a week or 3 people every day. You are going to get very different results. The person who speaks to 3 people every day is going to create momentum. It's going to create activity. It's going to start spinning. The business will start growing. It's in any business. It's not only in network marketing. It's not only in Long Reach business. In any business. If you start a restaurant and you don't tell anyone about it, and you tell one person every month, you are going to have a very different result from the person who stands outside the restaurant and is speaking to 10 people per hour and telling them to come in and have something to eat. You are going to get very different results. So speed and accuracy is one of our big secrets. Build with the business model. I'm going to say that again, follow the business model. Finally, accessing social capital. Remember, when you are speaking to everyone, that you are not just focusing on the people that you are speaking to, you are also interested in the people that they know. In any business, when you network, you are speaking to the people that you know because of the people that they know, because the people that you know are limited, but the people that they know are unlimited. So you access their social capital by working with them to speak to the people that they know. And for the long reach business, you build deep. So you don't just work with the people that you have, first generation, second generation, the people that you have spoken to or that you know, your warm market, but you actually continue working with the people that they know. And the person who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, you can work as deep as 20 generations. There are people I've worked with in the business. There are people I have worked hand in hand with who thought that maybe they were 2 or 3 generations down from me because of the way I was working with them. They were actually 15 generations down, 20 generations down, and I was working with them as closely. So don't just work with 3 people or 5 people and say, I've done my best. Keep it going and keep working with them. And finally, I'm going to just say, if you're rebuilding your teams, if you're rebuilding your business, restarting your success, know the 3 KYPs. Know your prospects, know your partners, that's your team members, know your products. I won't go into detail because we don't have the time, but in our team, we do emphasize the 3 KYPs. Know your prospects, that's the people you want to speak to. Know them well so that you say the right things. Know your partners, that's your team members, and know your products well. Get busy, buy the products, use them, share them, invite. Rebuilding requires focus, okay? You are going to need some focus if you want to restart your success. You are not going to restart your success by doing something today and not doing anything for the next 2 weeks. It requires focus, working every day with focus, not worrying about anybody else. WhatsApp groups are very good in our business. Set up your WhatsApp groups and then post daily in them. I've seen many WhatsApp groups where leaders don't interact, they don't post. Nothing is going to happen. There's not going to be progress. You're not going to restart your success. Post daily in your WhatsApp groups. And finally, like I said to you, when my business was starting in 2016, I told as many people as possible. If you are looking for 3 people, speak to 50. If you see people who open new restaurants and they stand outside their restaurant trying to get people to come in, they don't speak to 3 people and expect the restaurant to be full. They speak to everyone who is passing by. And that's how they get a few people to agree to come in and try this new place that nobody knows about. So please speak to as many people as possible. If you're looking for 3 people, speak to 50. And then you will find yourself rebuilding. So to restart your business, to restart your success, you really want to be doing the things you did at the very beginning again. Speak to 50 to get 3. I'm going to pause there because I know we've gone quite far and we still have to take questions and answers. So I'm going to just pause there. And I can see Seton smiling at me. So yeah, please go ahead, Seton.
Wow. The way the chat is popping up is something nice. Let me just unmute everybody to just applaud for that presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor Pam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. The great one. Thank you.
What is that one?
When you are asked to unmute, if you are not in the quiet place, you should have unmuted. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Pamela. This has been a huge, in fact, you have overdosed us. Let me put it that way. Despite that, the slides are not, you did not even finish the slides. Wow, thank you so much. So we just like I said from the beginning, we are giving the questions to the participants on the call tonight. So whatever questions you have, you put in the chat, or if you can come on camera to ask your questions or your voice, you do that by raise of hands so that we can take your questions. But before we do that, she made mention of the journey she has passed through in Long Reach before she attains Diamond 7. I just want to show a few pictures of how our journey has been on the platform. So since she went to South Africa, now she's Diamond 7, and she's gone through everything and thing. This is her live on stage in one of the Long Reach events. And you can see the posture, you know that she's a pastor. So, So that actually gives us, now this is the China trip she got, and these are the cars. Some of the achievements they've got, some of them are maybe silent. Some of them are silent. They didn't just make mention of it. These are on stage with Mama UK, SD Ajala, and you can see them with Alex and 4SD Shenwo Shofisa. So these are some of the precedents and the level she's gone through. You aim for this, you like all this, you can get that. If you are a prospect or you are yet to sign up on this long reach business, let me see your hand raised, or you put in the chat. There is a reason for that. We may give you preference this night to ask your question than the already signed up members. Okay, I can say Abubakar Usman, you are clapping. Maybe that's a sign. Okay. Do we have anybody? You are yet to sign up on this call, on this platform. Okay, thank you so much. All right, I'll call on the 3SD. He has 1 or 2 questions, and to also appreciate our special guest this night, a very, very special guest. Thank you so much, ma'am. You are too loaded for us to let you go into sessions. We are coming back again. So we will come back. It is sure we will come back. We will come back. I welcome the Chief Servant of CIG, 3-star Director Ima Eduro, is the author of the book, Made in Worry, and founder of Emmanuel Eduro Foundation, a foundation that takes care of the orphans and widows. You're welcome, boss.
Thank you, Pastor Pamela. We cannot thank you enough for coming to give us another aspect of perseverance against all odds. And one thing that, interests me about you, since I saw you making your speech in that anniversary in September 10th in London, I tell you, I was moved. And I love the family way of your team. As you are here, I can see your upline, your downlines, your success line, your sidelines, all of them, they are all here. You see, I love this kind of, spirit, a spirit of oneness that is here. I appreciate my 2SD, Mama UK, for all she's doing for Longreach. Not just her team this time around, but for Longreach entirely, because we all are benefiting as a result of her efforts in the United Kingdom. God will bless you, ma'am. Man cannot repay you. It's God that will bless you. You have touched so many lives indirectly without you knowing. It's not just about your team here. So everybody that is in this call, this Zoom call today, may have been a beneficiary as a result of our good works. So thank you. And Pastor, I tell you, today is another day, as if you've not said these things before. And life is not a sprint, it's true. I listened to what you said today, and I have a question. You kept emphasizing, stay on your lane, stay on your lane, stay on your lane. And this got me thinking and said, look, there are people on this call tonight. Some of them, they don't have uplines.
It seems to be breaking.
Some of
network.
them, they claim their uplines are not there for them. Now, what will you say to those who believe that without upline support, it will be impossible to succeed or get to the top of this business? What is your take to that?
Yes, no, I would definitely say to them that we all have to take responsibility for our own business. You cannot wait for your upline to be the one pushing you, to be the one holding your hand. You have, like I said, you have to run your own race. Now, one of the starting points that makes people not to, if you don't want to depend on your upline, let me put it in the right way, is that is what I said at the beginning. You need to define your own vision and your own goals. If you don't define your own vision and you don't define your own goals, You will keep looking to your upline to tell you what to do, to tell you where you're going, and to tell you how to get there. But if you define your own goals and you define your own vision, you will not need your upline, and you do not need your upline to tell you where you are going and how to get there. Your upline will hold your hand for the first couple of weeks just to help you. I remember my upline, Mama UK, she held my hand for the first 2 weeks, and while I was still enjoying the drinking of milk that she was feeding me, while I was still enjoying the 2 weeks, she said to me, okay, I've helped you now. Very good, run with it, you're on your own. I said, no, Pastor Esther, no, you can't leave me. I'm new. I'm just 2 weeks. How can you tell me that you have other people to look after? She said, I'm leaving you, you sink or you swim. That was the best thing she ever did for me, because that was how I started swimming. So no, you do not need your upline. SD5, Titi Ejimagwa, will always tell you that she doesn't have an upline. Who is her upline? She always says that. And yet she ran with it. So no, those who are saying you cannot succeed without your upline, they are very, very wrong. My uplines were not in South Africa. My upline was here in the UK, and her upline was in Nigeria. When I took the business to South Africa, we were busy building and doing what we could before our uplines came to support us there. So no, they are very wrong. You can make it without your upline in this business. You need your own vision, your own goals, and your own motivation. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I believe in that answer and response you gave, because I too, my upline left Longreach business when I was barely 3 months old. And since then till this moment, I have no upline in this business. And I think it has actually helped me more to look only front and nowhere else. That is, remain focused. Because sometimes when you lean on people so much, it limits your ability. It limits your potentials. It makes you to undervalue yourself. Like when you said, your upline said, you either sink or swim. Go, I've left you. Go and do the rest. I've given you all you need. I think this is a major takeaway from today's presentation for everybody who feels he or she is struggling. Because I said this to somebody today. I said, look, you must speak with confidence, because your confidence must carry your belief, and your belief will exhibit your passion before the person you are speaking with. And that person you are speaking with, the moment he connects from you, he too picks the belief in you into his own system. And before you know it, but when you deliver without belief, of course, if belief is missing from your deliveries, automatically the person that is receiving will not receive any belief and can only say, okay, I see, it's nice, but it will go. So I trust in everything you have just said because I've experienced them. Thank you so much for answering that question. We have some questions in the chat box. Over to you, Seto.
All right, thank you, boss. I remember the last edition you came and the part one you talked about. I was just trying to go through my note and said, be like a farmer, not a hunter.
Yes.
Now, some were not on the call that night. And if you can just say something about that in 2 minutes, because apart from life not a sprint, it's a marathon, then that one also stuck with me then. So you can just say that one in 2 minutes, then I will read the question in the chat.
Okay, so very quickly, when I say that be a farmer and not a hunter, what I'm trying to say is that in business, and especially in our Longreach business, you sow seeds, okay? You are not a hunter who just wants to go out and with a gun, just aim your rifle and shoot and get your target immediately and so on. That's the hunter approach. Some people use that approach and they easily get discouraged because when they go out and point and aim their gun and they can't get, shoot and kill immediately, then they feel like, the business is not working. But we are like farmers. You sow seed all the time. And as you sow those seed, you water the seed and you water the seed and you sow and you water, you clear the weeds and so on. That process is when you are busy talking to people, you're following them up, you're giving them information. And at the end of the day, you have a harvest. Okay, the name of my team is Harvest Time. Harvest Time Business Network. Because from the beginning, we had that approach that it is, you're like a farmer. You're like someone sowing seed, and at the end, you answer very short so we can have as many questions as possible.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, John Edigbo is asking for those of us who have already signed up and into the business without much progress, what physical encouragements or bonuses do you have for us to move apart from the inspiration?
Now, this is a business, okay? It's not a hobby, it's a business. So that's why I took time to encourage those who have been discouraged and give you an action plan. So it's not just inspiration. I also give an action plan. You take the action plan and implement it. You cannot earn bonuses for unless you work. Now, there's a compensation plan for Long Reach. That compensation plan rewards you for the people that you've spoken to who also do what you've done. You switch your brand, you start to use the Long Reach products, the fantastic Long Reach products, and then you tell others who tell others who tell others. And as you do that process, you earn bonuses. So there's a compensation plan that defines the work you have to do for you to earn bonuses. So if somebody is discouraged, what they have to do is start the work again. Start doing the work again. And as you do the work again, you will begin to earn the bonuses again. There are no special incentives for people who have been discouraged, but there are special incentives for people who are willing to do something. And I promise you, Long Reach is a very generous company. I haven't seen such a generous company. I had done a couple of networks before Long Reach, and many, many years ago, I said I would never do it again. But when I started Long Reach, I said to myself, this is a generous company, because for the same work that you do, the same PVs, the same points, you can qualify for trips, qualify for cars, still earn your weekly bonus. That is a generous company. So I would advise anybody who is discouraged, please take the action plan that I gave, begin to do it, begin to do the work, and you'll begin to earn your bonuses again. When you register people and they use the products, you'll begin to earn your bonuses again. Thank you.
Thank you. What she's trying to say is that it's a game of numbers. Like she said, you open restaurants, you're talking to 5 people. It depends on when you talk to 100. So get more people in your team. So, and I think Mama Yuki also responded to that on the chat.
Yes. Thank you, Mama Yuki. I noticed she's helping me answer some questions in the chat. Thank you. That's my ever supportive upline.
All right. I think, okay, question? Someone is asking that, how did you now revive your dead leg? I think you made mention of the third leg you try to struggle with. Exactly,
which is why I was sharing that action plan. Now, I started working again on my third leg by simply just following the action plan. I just went back to the basics. I'm still on the journey, which is why I'm not yet a star director. I'm still on the journey. I had to go back and start all over again, to start talking to people and trying to get new people to come into the business. Now, it is much easier to speak to new people and to encourage them and work with them and build them up again, than to try to really revive the people that have given up, because like everybody else, you will try. I did try, but it's very difficult. When people have become discouraged, it's difficult unless they attend a meeting like this and they hear all over again the steps that they can take to revive their business. So you will do better speaking to new people. And as the new people come in, their excitement can even help to encourage some of the previous people. So I'm working on that journey now. That is my own task. Now, that is the race I am running now, to rebuild that third leg by bringing in new people and working with them and building with them. Yeah, my apologies. It's a Zoom meeting, so my doorbell is ringing. I'm just not going to.
Okay. So now, to get some people are asking questions. To get more of this, you can log into YouTube, Long Reach CIG, subscribe there. You will see this video will be uploaded, or you go to Facebook, CIG Hub is being streamed live, so you can rewatch, and gather your points. Let me bring this to our notice, and some may be thinking that simply set on your ankle and all that. For my own development, I go back to the YouTube, because some things are said. When I rewatch, I will be thinking, when was that mentioned? You understand? Depending on the guest, some things still stick with me that I don't forget. But by the time I rewatch, and I get to say, oh, I go back to the notes I have to fill in the gap at times where I've missed some lines. I just go there. So you do yourself a whole lot of good by going to that page. It's very, very loaded page with series of trainings And even on products, we have taken a lot of sessions. Okay, thank you, and God bless you for doing that.
Yes.
Well, people they've got a whole lot from this session.
Sorry,
I'll give one last person.
Sorry, can I say something? Before you ask give the last person, I want to please, okay. I know SD Duru is particular about time. I want to please just plead for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes for us to have enough time, because I have a couple of things that I actually missed out that I want to mention, if you don't mind. I'm just pleading for 5 minutes. After this question,
go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, or should we take the question first and then I go ahead, or do I go ahead first?
The person, I don't think he's asking question. His audio is not connected. I want to take it.
Okay, all right, fine. I was going to speak quickly about the mistakes. I mentioned it in the first session. I couldn't get to it. And again now, I'm mentioning it and still couldn't get to it again today. Some of the mistakes that we make for those who are restarting. Remember, the topic is restart your success. So for those who are restarting, some of the mistakes to avoid, one of the things I mentioned the last time, number one mistake is it's part of knowing your team, and that is the mistake of assuming that you understand people without making the effort to know them. Assuming that you understand, let's say you're working in a different country from your own country. A big mistake to it is when you don't take the effort to know the people in that culture or in that country. I have experienced that personally in my business because my business is in many countries. I've learned that I need to understand the differences. The way I would work with somebody who is in Nigeria is different from the way I would work with somebody who is in the UK and somebody who is in South Africa. If I can give an example, in the UK, there are certain business ethics like timekeeping, for example. If you call a meeting for 5 p.m., you better be there for 5 p.m. If you don't make it for 5 p.m. and you, the host, you get there at 5:30, you are losing all those people. In Nigeria, for example, we're not that great at timekeeping. If you come in at 4:15, people will forgive you. You just say, sorry, something came up. So you have to know your team. So those are some of the mistakes we make, and we lose people and we don't know why. Understanding the differences in culture. My South African team, there were people that I worked with, I offended them without even knowing why I offended them or how I offended them, because I didn't understand, even though I had lived in South Africa for 20 years by this time, yet I still offended because I didn't know some aspect of the culture. I thought it was like, my own background, where if you are the older one, you automatically have respect and you can tell somebody who is younger what they're doing wrong. I didn't realize that it was a little bit different in the culture, and the tone with which I was addressing people as if I am a mother was not being appreciated. You are not my mother, you are my team leader. So differences in culture and approaches, you need to know that those are mistakes. Second mistake, again, focusing on only your top leaders, your higher level leaders. So if I D6 or a D5, focusing on just your D4 leaders, those kinds of mistakes will cost you your team. I have learned that everybody is important. The pre-diamond who is just joining today, the diamond 1, diamond 2 leaders, in fact, those are your most important because they are the foundation of your team. So please, that's another mistake that we need to avoid if you're going to rebuild or restart. Focus on everybody, especially the newer people. We make the mistake and we do it the opposite, the other way around, because you say, I'm a D5, for me to be a diamond 6 leader, for those who are in Long Reach, you understand what I'm talking about. For those who are new, you may not fully understand, but an example is just if you are a D5 leader, you say, oh, for me to become a D6, I have to have 2 D5s. So you take your D4 leaders and you begin to focus on them. And you're thinking, oh, I just need 2 of these people to become D5 so I can achieve my own goal of D6. And in doing that, you forget the people that are actually, the foundation people, the new people and all that. And they are the ones who actually need your attention. The third mistake is ignoring social media. That was one of my own major mistakes as well. Ignoring social media because I'm old school. I told you, I've been on this earth for over 50 years. And we, the older school, we tend to be very suspicious and hesitant with social media. Like, I don't want my business out there. I don't want people judging me. I'm like, in my case, I'm a pastor. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be on social media talking about anything else except what I'm known for, which is being a pastor. But it's a mistake. You can be on social media. You don't have to avoid and run away from social media. It's a mistake for you to run away from social media because it is here to stay. It took me a long time to realize that it is here to stay. Now I've accepted finally that it is here to stay. And the tip for social media, I'm not going to go into detail, but the tip for social media is you make the connections on social media and then you move off social media to talk about what you want to talk about. Don't go out there and just blast your products everywhere and blast your business everywhere. You're already, you're not giving people a chance to engage. So you engage, you make the connections, you have the conversations, you make the contacts, and then you move off social media. You take it off from Facebook to WhatsApp, and you have that one-on-one now in more detail and try to now explain what it is, that the value that you're adding to them. So those are some of the mistakes that, you know, I just wanted to mention quickly that people have made, that I have seen or I have made myself in the business. I was going to get to it the last time and I wasn't able to. So thank you for giving me the extra time.
Thank you so much, Ma. It's worth it so immensely, and we don't take your comment for granted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mama UK, we don't usually like you coming without saying anything. Let me give you 2 minutes, ma'am. Is it possible you come on camera? If not, let's just hear you, because we always love that you do. We trust you. You've been so good mother.
I wasn't expecting to speak today, Satan.
You should know that when I'm on call, except I didn't see you.
I just came to be inspired by my awesome leader, Pastor Pamela. Thank you so much for everything you've done for all of us today. We've had a great time. The chat rooms are buzzing. Writing, all sorts of notes from everything you've been sharing with us today. It's been great. A word from me, what can I say? Perseverance has been said already, determination and focus. Those are 3 key words. I can see from the feel, from the chat in this room, the chat here, that some people might feel that there's some magic to becoming an amazing leader. There isn't really, it's just hard grit. It's just work. And by work, we mean reaching out to people constantly. So everybody's definition of constantly is different. For me, it's daily. It's reaching out to people every day, giving them value, which is knowledge about the product that you have available to them that may change their life. And then the other value is the financial benefit if they become active distributors and members within the business. So we just constantly do that, do the 30-day challenge. Set yourself a challenge to reach out to 2 people every day. And the next day you reach out to another 2 and follow up with the previous 2. Do that for a month and you will see those bonuses begin to roll. I did that in 2016, April, and I have earned a considerable amount of money every week ever since. So I promise you, if you try that, it will work. So anybody here who's not quite sure what to do, just take that simple step. Get to understand your products and then start reaching out to people around you, and it will happen. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you, SD Duru. You are there. Thank you for hosting every evening, every Sunday evening. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Mama UK. We keep pushing. Together we succeed.
We keep on pushing. We keep on pushing. We are not stopping there. There is no turning point back at this point. We have come too far to turn back. We are not turning back. We are pushing on and we're getting all the way to the top.
Far too far. We keep going. We keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, my final word. Is it okay? Final word?
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Just the final word. Our topic is perseverance against all odds. Restart your success. I just want to say again, if anybody, for those who have been discouraged, don't walk away because of the uniqueness of our compensation plan, which is that you don't lose your points. If you walk away, you are walking away from money with that final word. Remember that the work you have done is waiting for you in your account. All you have to do is restart your success. When you restart, you are starting from where you stopped. Long, is not like other networks or maybe some other businesses out there where you lose everything because you had been quiet. This one, you start from, if you stopped at point, Q, you start from point Q and continue moving forward. So that's the last point I wanted to give to you. And I also wanted to say that we all have, like I said, we all walk in a different journey. For me, I forgot to say this earlier, my most important achievement in long reach is not the fact that I have been to China or qualified for Malaysia, USA, Dubai, Greece. Achievement is that I have earned an income every week from 2016 January when I joined. I will say that again. I have earned an income every single week, sometimes small, sometimes bigger. I have not had zero income on my, I have not had zero income on my 2 major codes. I'll say that again. I have not had zero income because I do not have zero PV. So every single, that to me, that is my greatest achievement because that was my own objective. I didn't come with the intention of winning cars and trips and houses and all that. I didn't even care about those at the beginning. I just wanted extra income. And so set your own goal and run your own race. Thank you. And I'm not going to ask for any more extra time. Thank you.
No. Thank you so much. Thank you for making yourself vulnerable to at least pour out your mind. I saw in the chat, someone said you were so free to even teach us from your own mistakes. Thanks so much. And Mama UK, that's keep my mind. And congratulations on your 35th wedding anniversary. We should have made it a real party for for the whole. Thanks. Thank you for coming again, and congratulations. Say us well to Pastor. And please, next week, the CIG train is moving to the Republic of Benin, and it's going to be huge again. You don't want to miss that. The guest is on the call even tonight, so we'll get to see the flyer in the course of the week. Join us again, CIG Sunday Night Live, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, 6 p.m. UK, Ghana, and you'll get the link all the time. Thank you for this night. And we'll see you again next week. On Wednesday will be our product expose. There will be a major announcement that will come up on Wednesday, so log in and join us 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Thank you and have a good night, everyone.